Hi, my name is Emily Shelton, and I'm going to be arguing from a utilitarian point of view, and I'm arguing that humans, animals, and fetuses have the same moral status, and that moral status being it is not right to harm or kill any of these three beings. When it comes to animals, there is a lot of debate about what is acceptable for food, and when it comes to slaughtering the animal, what actually harms them and what actually isn't harmful to the animal. The process that the animal must go through to be turned into edible meat often is not what it should be. The animal does feel pain, and it is torturous for the animal. It is not right to kill animals because animals will experience some type of satisfaction in their lifetime, and some people argue that it's a different type of satisfaction when relating animals and humans, but there is an overall satisfaction that an animal can experience. In Peter Singer's article, All Animals Are Equal, he states, if a being is not capable of suffering or of experiencing enjoyment or happiness, there is nothing to take into account. So if there is no emotion, there's nothing to take away. But an animal is alive, and it is functioning, it has a brain and a heart, it does feel. So like he said, experiencing enjoyment or happiness, an animal is able to do so, and taking that away is not morally correct. Today's society is not really worried about the well-being of the animal when it comes to their slaughter. America has the idea if they don't have to see it, then it's not happening, when in actuality it is happening, we just aren't taking it into account. In an article by Michael Pollan titled The Animal's Place, he states that several years ago, an English critic, John Berger, wrote an essay titled Why Look at Animals, in which he suggested that the loss of everyday contact between ourselves and animals, and specifically the loss of eye contact, has left us deeply confused about the terms of our relationship to other species. This quote indicates how important it is for people to be aware of the treatment of animals and not to turn a blind eye to how animals are being treated, and more importantly, how their animal that they're consuming was slaughtered and the conditions it lived in and went through. And if people turn a blind eye to what's actually happening, people forget that the animal does have feelings, and the animal is important, and the animal could have had a better and more efficient future if they weren't slaughtered. And another example from an animal's place, Pollan talks about when the last time a person saw a pig was, and he goes on to talk about people don't really experience animals unless they're domestic. And Pollan also states that the disappearance of animals from our lives has opened a space in which there's no reality check, either of the sentiment or the brutality. So the point being that if you take away the visual of the animal's pain and pleasure, you take away the way people start to think about the animals, and meaning that we are treating them purely as a means to our end. A counter-argument that one might offer in defense of eating meat is that it provides specific nutrients that are only found in meat, and that's actually not all the way correct. Singer states in his article, All Animals Are Equal, that there can be no defense of eating flesh in terms of satisfying nutritional needs, since it has been established beyond doubt that we could satisfy our needs for protein and other essential nutrients far more efficiently with a diet that replaces animal flesh by soybeans or products derived from soybeans and other high-protein vegetable products. So, like I said, the counter-argument is not as strong as some people would have liked. It is proven easily that meat is not the only essential way to get these nutrients, and there are other products that Singer mentions to satisfy what we need. When talking about aborting a fetus, it is morally wrong. A fetus has a chance at a future and will eventually experience pleasure and pain once developed fully. If a fetus has some type of future, you can't just take that away because they're its first trimester, and some people will argue that they're not fully developed and that they don't have a chance since they don't have a brain or a heart fully developed yet. And that's not exactly correct. According to the article Why Abortion is Immoral by Don Marquis, he states that killing is especially wrong because it deprives the victim of more than perhaps any other crime. So taking the life of a fetus is not something comparable to a robbery. Robbery, if they take your belongings, they can be replaced. A life cannot be replaced, and their chance of happiness in the future is gone. So, in conclusion, it is morally wrong to kill humans, animals, and fetuses because they all have a chance at some type of future and can all experience pleasure and pain. There is no real reason to kill animal for food, nor should it be allowed to end the life of an innocent human being.